I have been told Onyx-Kit, Soaring-Kit, and Storm-Kit are in need of mentors. Silent Star began, her tail neatly wrapped around her paws as snowflakes fell from the sky. A cold breeze ruffling around the camp. It had been many moons, and Onyx-Kit was now old enough to become an apprentice. So was Soaring-Kit, and another apprentice, Storm-Kit, who was less of his friend, but was still in the nursery as him at the same time. "Please step forward, Onyx-Kit, Soaring-Kit, and Storm-Kit," Silent Star meowed, as Onyx-Kit quietly stepped forward. He looked back at Soaring-Kit with a grin. This would be the time. They were finally becoming apprentices. He let out a long breath and looked for Broken Shadow, but of course he was gone, probably on another patrol. He rolled his eyes as Silent Star spoke again. "Storm-Kit, you have come to the age of 6 moons, and you are ready to become an apprentice. From this day on, you will be known as Stormpaw. Your mentor will be Sandslide," Silent Star meowed, as he called out, "Stormpaw! Stormpaw!" The entire crowd chanted, and Onyx-Kit looked back to Silent Star, who spoke. "The next kitten who is old enough to become an apprentice is Soaring-Kit. He has reached 6 moons old and is ready. Soaring-Kit, you are now known as Soaring-Paw. Your mentor will be Two-Face." "Soaring-Paw! Soaring-Paw!" Onyx-Kit yelled out the loudest, almost drowning out the sounds of his other clanmates. He looked at Soaring-Paw, who didn't look back at him, but looked back at Journey-Paw, who was now yelling the loudest. Soaring-Paw dipped his head and touched noses with Two-Face when it was finally his turn. "Onyx-Kit, you have reached the 6 moons of an apprentice, and you are old enough to become one. Your new name will be Onyx-Paw, and your mentor will be Wasp-Strike." He whipped his head back to Soaring, smiling, hoping for a smile back, once he noticed Wasp-Strike, who spoke up and began touching noses with him. "You're my apprentice. You should be happy," Wasp-Strike chuckled. "You should be happy that I'm your apprentice. I'm going to be the biggest and best apprentice in the entire clan," Onyx-Paw meowed. "I'm putting my bets on Soaring-Paw," Journey-Paw meowed, and he flicked his ear back, ignoring the she-cat. "I am glad to be your mentor," Wasp-Strike meowed, and he dipped his head, side-eyeing Soaring-Paw. Onyx-Paw curled up in a tight black furry ball, and after a couple of seconds he awoke, stretching. Snowflakes fluttered down from the sky and landed on his nose and fur. He let out a sneeze and continued walking out from the moss. He liked the spare den. It was more comfortable than sitting out in the leaf-bare wind all night. He noticed Apple Pond next to him and meowed. "Good morning, Apple Pond." He let out a brief smile before she nodded back. "Oh, good morning, Onyx-Paw. Are you ready for your training?" she asked him, and he nodded to her briefly, before noticing his mentor, Wasp-Strike, further in the camp. He slowly and quietly slipped down the slope and headed towards Wasp-Strike, who meowed. "Oh, Onyx-Paw, are you ready for your training?" Onyx-Paw rolled his eyes at his mentor's enthusiasm and looked at him and said, "I suppose." "Oh, don't be like that, Onyx-Paw. Be excited. Training's gonna be fun. Closer for you to become the best warrior in Wind Clan." He let out a slight chuckle, and Onyx-Paw was not amused.
I don't need your training to become the best warrior in WindClan. I'm already good enough as it is. And my father said he'll give me some private lessons in the future. Ugh. Anyway, come on, Wasp Strike Meowed, race you out. Onyxpaw raced after the Tom, quickly pushing past him and heading out and outside into WindClan territory. You're slow, Onyxpaw laughed as Snow whipped back at him in his face. Wasp Strike rolled his eyes. I'm sure I am, Wasp Strike Meowed, but honestly, I was just giving you the win that time. I was testing how fast you really could be if you tried. Onyxpaw rolled his eyes again at Wasp Strike's remark and looked at him. So, what are we doing today? Wasp Strike flicked an ear at his question and meowed. We're gonna do some hunting. Onyxpaw's tail flatly laid on the ground as his ears sagged back. I want to practice fighting, not hunting. He looked as Journeypaw approached the two. Have you guys seen herbs? She asked in her usually and annoyingly cheerful tone. Oh, not really, actually. Onyxpaw meowed in his fake voice, and Wasp Strike looked at her. No, we're not medicine cats. Why would we see herbs? Wasp Strike meowed. Onyxpaw listened to his mentor's tone and repeated, Yeah, no, haven't seen any. We're not medicine cats. His words were flat. Journeypaw looked away, and Onyxpaw didn't feel any sympathy for her embarrassment. I guess you're true about that, Journeypaw meowed, and Onyxpaw looked back to Wasp Strike as she raced away. I wonder what she's up to. Wasp Strike meowed, and Onyxpaw looked at him. Probably collecting herbs. Anyway, I already know how to hunt. Fine, we'll do hunting later, fighting now, Wasp Strike meowed, as he ordered him to get in a spar position. You attack first, Wasp Strike meowed. Onyxpaw looked as he saw Soaring Paw race past him with his mentor Split Face, but ignored him as he stepped back from his mentor. Did I sleep through the main part of the day? He asked as he looked as sunset began setting on the clans. I guess so, Wasp Strike meowed, a chuckle escaping his mouth. Honestly, sometimes apprentices these days sleep through the entire day. Then they have dusk duty. That's the worst. You don't want to stay up all night, do you? Nope, Onyxpaw meowed as he quietly crouched and looked up at him, ready to start. All right, come at me already, Wasp Strike meowed, enthusiasm in his voice. He looked at the Tom and then thought out his plans. Jump to the right, spring on him, then flip back, kick him in the legs to knock him unbalanced, and then start the attack. Mind was like an equation. Before any second could pass, he immediately sprang on next to Wasp Strike, kicking him into the legs, but Wasp Strike was prepared and flipped back. Onyxpaw flummoxed as he quietly rolled over, the snow matting his fur. He got pounced on, and Wasp Strike snarled. You are better than I thought you'd be, Wasp Strike meowed, and Onyxpaw quietly tried to slip away from him, but Wasp Strike held him down. Gotcha. Onyxfang was pinned by Wasp Strike for a couple more seconds before the mottled Tom slipped off him. Onyxpaw grumbled and scooted up. And then, after a second, he darted upward and slashed at Wasp Strike's face, blood covering his eyes, or it felt like that. Everything around him was red. He was so mad. He didn't know what this feeling was. Ow! Hey, no clawsy here. Oh, Onyxpaw looked shocked. It was an accident. He looked away as he saw one of his clanmates. "It better been," Waspstrike snarled as he saw Slantside and Stormpaw enter the camp. "I'm gonna head back to camp," Onyxpaw meowed as he raced away, entering the camp quickly as guilt flooded him. "Good job today," he heard Sandslide meow as he was in camp for a couple seconds once he immediately approached Journeypaw. "Journey, Wasp's got a scratch." Waspstrike entered in, blood dripping from the scratches along his cheek. "Make sure it does not get infected," he meowed harshly to the medicine kit apprentice. "Oh, I'm on it," Journeypaw meowed as he quietly sat under a bush, pawing at the mushrooms underneath him, as he looked at Waspstrike sadly. He sighed and listened into Sandslide and Stormpaw's conversation. The last thing he heard was Stormpaw saying, "Okay," and then approaching him. "Hi, Onyxpaw. How was your training today?" he said. "Oh, it was good," Onyxpaw lied, and tried to look past Stormpaw, looking and waiting for Stormpaw to enter back from his training. "Oh, that's good," she said, and he flicked an ear at Stormpaw, wondering what he wanted. "How's your training?" Onyxpaw meowed. "Oh, it's great! Sandslide is such a fun mentor." Onyxpaw looked away defeatedly. "Oh, that's nice for you, Stormpaw. But do you know where Soaring Paw is?" Silence was there. Stormpaw didn't seem to talk for a while, and neither did he. Once the bigendered cat spoke up. "Oh, I have no idea where Soaring Paw is. You should go check. I'm sure he's going to be back from training any second. Splitface probably doesn't like being out at night." "Oh, okay. I'll find him," Onyxpaw meowed, and quietly padded up to check the spare den before sighing once it was empty. He then decided to hop down the slope. His eyes lit up as he saw Soaring Paw leap into camp. "Soaring!" His paws were quick and fidgety as he heard Splitface say some last words. What do you need, Onyxpaw?" "Soaring, how was your training? You're back! Finally, you're back!" Onyxpaw's eyes were wide. He was so excited. His old kidhood friend was finally back. "I was waiting for you. I want to hear everything about your training. How was it?" "I was training, yeah. So I probably didn't... Yeah. I'm sorry that I kept you waiting." Stormpaw meowed. He sounded nervous. What was he trying to hide? Onyxpaw looked away and then back at him. "I want to eat some prey. Want to eat dinner with us?" "I mean, me. I don't have any other friends. You're my only friend, Soaring Paw. We can talk, right?" I was actually thinking," Soaring Paw meowed, looking away as his paws seemed to shake. What was he thinking? Why was he so nervous? Onyxpaw looked sadly at him before he meowed. "I was actually going to go eat dinner with Journeypaw." "Oh." Onyxpaw felt so much abandonment in his stomach. This would be the first time that Soaringpaw and him didn't eat dinner together. And it would be one of their first training days as that. "Oh, can I join you two?" Onyxpaw asked, hoping that Soaringpaw would remake their decision he already made. "Well..." Soaringpaw awkwardly shuffled his paws on the dirt, and Onyxpaw raised an eyebrow. "Yeah, I guess you can come." You know what? I'm actually really tired. I'm gonna go get some rest. Onyxfang meowed as he slowly looked back at the spare den, knowing what the night held. Probably nightmares. He quietly trotted back up, sadment and abandonment in his stomach. Is this what it felt when, so many moons ago, he had betrayed Soaring Paw? He had told the truth immediately, and he did get a harsh scolding from Broken Shadow. He had a scar to show it. He curled up in a ball, and after a couple of hours, he had seemingly been less tired. But he still slept, not wanting to wake up until dawn. And he didn't want to be tired for tomorrow's training session with Wasp Strike. Oh! Journey Paw! Soaring Paw meowed, as the two were now in the scene. Eh? Journey Paw woke up exasperatingly as Soaring Paw leaped back. Whoa! Oh, thanks! Journey Paw meowed as she grabbed the rabbit he was holding. Calm down, he laughed, and Journey Paw rolled his eyes. I was about to fall asleep there. Journey Paw meowed. Too bad you woke me up. But it's always nice to have company, especially when dinner. Did you catch this rabbit all by yourself? Her eyes were wide and round. And, sorry I woke up with such a start. I'm kind of jumpy, you know? Oh, and how was your training? Did you catch your rabbit? Did you catch this rabbit? She asked, as Soaring Paw looked at her. It went great, actually, and yeah, I did catch the rabbit. Oh, that's so great. It must taste so much better now, Journey Paw purred, as Soaring Paw looked away, letting out a nervous chuckle. After a while of the two chatting, Soaring Paw got up and whispered, I'm actually going to be exhausted for tomorrow's training session if I don't go to sleep now. See you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, get some rest, Journey Paw meowed, and as Soaring Paw walked out. Onyx Paw sat there, next to the fresh kill pile. Hey, Onyx, he meowed. What? It was dawn, or dawn was approaching, and he wasn't in the mood to talk to his distant friend. Wanna eat the rest of this rabbit? He asked, and he shook his head. I'm not hungry right now, really. And after a while, he begrudgingly confided. Actually, sure, I will. He couldn't deny the rumbling in his stomach. Okay, it probably tastes the same. Journey Paw did eat a little bit of it, but I'll let you have the rest. Okay, Onyx Paw meowed, emotion blank in his tone. Soaring Paw dropped the rabbit down and he ate it all, not leaving a scrap for Soaring Paw. Onyx Paw faced the other direction of his friend. Well, I'm gonna go find Wasp Strike. I'll probably want to start our next training session. He perked his ears for his mentor, and walked past Splitface and another one of his clanmates, heading out of camp, trying to find his mentor. He saw Sandslide and Stormpaw, and ignored him, once he flashed his eye and saw a bright red streak on the moor. He raced after the sight, and wondered if that was Wasp Strike. Wasp Strike! Wasp Strike! He called out for his mentor, and no one returned. Wasp! Wasp Strike, where are you? After minutes, he still couldn't find his mentor, and his black coat was jet along the white snow. He smelled an herb, but ignored it. Journey could find her own herbs. He wasn't a medicine kit apprentice, like her. Wasp! He screeched, and he still couldn't find his mentor. Oh, where was he? If he wanted to hunt so bad, this was the time. Wasp, where are you? He called again. A bit of amusement in his tone. Once, Wasp Strike finally appeared. There you are! Onyxfang, what are you doing so far out of camp? Wasp Strike let out a chuckle, and Onyxfang looked bewildered. What do you mean? I'm looking for you! Oh, that's probably why I heard screaming. Screams of my name. Onyxfang stumbled his words and looked back at him. I want to hunt today. Oh, that's great. Actually, I actually smell something now. Wasp Strike flicked an ear back, his tail swishing in the direction, once he smelt the hair on the wind. He crouched down and quietly found it. Sweet! Go get it, he whispered, and winced, as he was kind of loud, but not loud enough for the rabbit to hear, obviously. The two crouched under the bush, waiting for the rabbit to lose a sense of its surroundings. Just catch it, quick, Wasp Strike whispered in his ears, only for him to hear. He slowly crouched forward. As its little nose twitched, he tried not to feel remorse for his prey, but he would give thanks to StarClan for this life. He crouched forward closer, and once he got close enough, he let out a large spring and raced forward, grabbing the rabbit in his mouth and killing it, swiftly dropping on the ground and giving thanks to StarClan. Thank you, StarClan, for this life, he whispered as everything faded to white